Hey YouTube! So I know it's been a while. I said I was going to start doing weekly updates and then I'd disappear. But things have just been a little bit blah these past couple of weeks. So it's been a little bit difficult to get a video up. I was sick, pretty much like in bed sick. I'm so thankful that this happened on a weekend when my husband could be there with my daughter, because he pretty much just took her and took care of her, and I laid in bed for like 2 days straight, pretty much. Just cold stuff, but with being in the third trimester, the end of the third trimester, and being sick and exhausted all at the same time, it was just, I don't know, too much. So I'm so thankful that he was able to take care of her, because I don't know what I would have done if it was on the weekdays when he wouldn't have been here. That would have been awful. So anyways, there also wasn't too much that happened within these past couple of weeks to update each week, so it kind of just worked out that I'm doing it all together. So currently I am 32 weeks and 6 days, so almost 33 weeks. So this video update is going to be for weeks 30, 31, and I'm going to also do week 32. So I guess pretty much there really wasn't a whole lot that happened during the 31st week, so last week, but there's a lot that happened during weeks 30 and also during this past week. So first symptom I'll talk about is I found it very hard and very uncomfortable to bend over now. He's very high up into my ribs, and so pretty much I can't breathe like ever. And so sitting down and having to bend over is really hard. And when I have like a good full meal and so my stomach is full, then that just makes it even more uncomfortable to do anything, but trying to bend over when I do that is just, oh my gosh. So definitely very hard to bend over. I've noticed that he will get the hiccups very shortly after I eat anything sweet. And I'm not just talking about like if I eat a piece of cake, like, okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when I have heartburn, I have to take Tums. Within minutes of taking the Tums, literally, he starts getting the hiccups. It is so crazy. So pretty much anything sweet, whether it's like sugar overload or just a teensy weensy bit of sugar, I do notice that he gets the hiccups. It's not every time, so it's kind of random, but almost every time he gets the hiccups whenever I eat anything with any sort of sweetness in it. The next symptom I noticed is my feet are super dry. It's not so much, I've noticed a little bit of dryness in my hands, but not like an overall body dryness. It's just my feet, and it's so weird. I'm at the point where my feet have really started hurting a lot, no matter what kind of shoes I wear or what kind of support I have on my feet. My feet just kind of hurt after standing or walking for short periods of time. And I've noticed that they are so much more dry. My heel cracked on my left foot, just a little crack, even though I'm like exfoliating and moisturizing and wearing socks. Like, it's so crazy. And I don't know if it's just like a pregnancy thing mixed with a winter thing, but I don't remember it happening when I was pregnant with my daughter, and we were here last winter, and I don't remember it happening. So I think it's a combination of the two, but super dry feet. And so that's really annoying. He started getting his feet stuck up into my ribs. And by stuck up there, I mean he positions them and that hurts, but then every little movement that he makes, if he like twists or turns his foot, or even if he like has like the hiccups or something, any little movement that he makes when his feet are up in my ribs, oh, they hurt so bad. So it's like the initial hurt of him getting his feet up in there, but then constant little spikes of pain every time that he moves or fidgets or whatever it is. So that's quite uncomfortable. So for week 30, that's pretty much the symptoms that I had. I feel like there was quite a bit of changes for symptoms during that week. Two other things that happened during that week. The first one's kind of silly. The other one is kind of more of a cool thing. But I got my first like pregnancy comment. And by that I mean the way that we do grocery shopping here is we do it a couple times a week because we are so close to it, and because just the way that the produce is and whatnot, we have to buy it fresh and it goes bad really quickly. quicker than like being in the States. And so we know a lot of the people who work at the commissary here on base because we see them so often. Well, one of the ladies that we see quite often and who loves our daughter finally said something like, "Oh, you're pregnant." And I'm like, wow, I'm 30 weeks. I didn't say that to her, but I was like, whoa. So I was 30 weeks and 4 days at that time. So, 30 and a half weeks basically. And I wasn't talking about being pregnant. And I wasn't like doing anything to initiate the fact that I am pregnant. It was just purely by her looking at me and saying, "Oh, wow, you're pregnant." Yeah, I am. So that was interesting. Another, at least I consider it a cool thing that happened was that I got a pretty bad back cramp in my lower back. And I don't know whether I would consider it a Braxton Hicks or if it was more like a spasm that I got in my back. But I was laying down when it happened. And as soon as I felt the discomfort from it, I immediately started using some of my Hypnobabies techniques to just relax and to focus on something other than the discomfort and to get through it. And I felt like it was really helpful. So that was just something that I was really happy to experience, because the more experiences I have like that, the more confident I get that, Hypnobabies is going to be something that's really going to help me when I go into my birthing time. So that was just a really cool experience, and that happened during week 30. Like I said, with week 31, really wasn't a lot of changes that happened. I did have to change the pants that I wear for my weekly photo that I take of my belly progression, because the pants that I was wearing up until now are just getting too tight on my stomach. So I did have to change the pants. They're still black pants, and I don't think that you'll notice much of a difference, but they sit a little bit differently on me, and so they make my belly look a bit different. So I don't know, you might notice the difference in the pictures, but I just thought that was funny because I have gotten to the point now, and I figured I would get to that point, with the idea of wearing the same shirt and pants in each one of the photos throughout the duration of my pregnancy. But I finally, at week 31, had to change the pants that I was wearing for my photos. Another cool thing that happened during week 31 is we finally received all the stuff that we need for his cloth diapers. We had mostly everything since we cloth diapered with our daughter, but there were a few things that we had to order. So I was able to start prepping those again, and we have that all set up. That was exciting for me. I didn't think I would be as excited since this is our second time around doing cloth diapers, but I actually really was. I don't know if it was just because we are getting closer to having him here and actually using the cloth diapers, but it was just exciting for me to be able to start prepping the diapers again. So for week 32, the first symptom that I want to talk about is my breasts getting, I won't say bigger. Well, okay, they definitely did get bigger. My husband just gave me a funny look. They definitely did get bigger, but the difference this time was that they actually got fuller. So this is probably like the 5th time throughout my pregnancy that my breasts have grown in size, but this is the first time that I really noticed that they've gotten fuller. And so they also started getting a little bit sore on the sides. And so I could tell that my breasts are really starting to gear up the old milk making factories again and getting ready for me to breastfeed the next one. My daughter is still nursing, and I've said before, right now it's just still strictly for comfort because I don't really have any milk in there. Because I actually tried to express my breasts to see if there was milk in there, because they were so much fuller than before that I thought maybe I was already starting to produce milk, but no, still no milk in there, but they're definitely fuller. So they're working something in there, gears are going, and they're getting ready to start actually producing milk again. So week 32 is the 6th week of my Hypnobabies self-study guide, home study kit, whatever it is. And it's basically where you kind of start the maintenance of the program, where you just continue doing the hypnosis practice and just really start practicing different positions that you want to be in during your birthing time. You practice different situations with your birthing partner. So with my husband, you actually practice as if you were having pressure waves and kind of going over different scenarios of how they could happen. So different lengths of birthing waves, different intensities of birthing waves in your different positions that you would be having them in, things like that. So that was kind of exciting to read about, just because I personally feel like with the Bradley method, the practice that me and my husband did during my pregnancy leading up to my birthing time with our daughter, I felt like the practice that we had done was really effective for when I actually did go into our birthing time, because we were completely comfortable with what was going on and we kind of just knew what to do. And so I feel like this is the same way. And with that said, one of the other things that we have done, we started doing on this week 32, is the perineal massage. And I personally feel like it was extremely helpful with not tearing when I had my daughter. And we've just done it a couple times this week. And as we get closer to it, we'll do it more consistently. The good thing about doing the practicing with the hypnobabies and doing the perineal massage at the same time is that it's a nice chance for me to work on the hypnosis techniques while I'm feeling some sort of discomfort. So the way that my husband generally does the perineal massage is he will start to stretch and then go deeper and deeper into the stretch and then start to slowly come off with the pressure. So it is very similar to a pressure wave where it builds up, it peaks, and then it comes back down. And so it's just kind of nice to be able to, first of all, go into that deep state of hypnosis, then have him begin with the stretching and whatnot. And then as he gets deeper into the stretches, I'm able to either focus more on where I want that hypnotic anesthesia to go, or where whether I am not focusing on the discomfort and I'm just kind of in my own special place in the hypnosis, which is something that I really have found to be extremely helpful, is that I'm able to take that focus off of the discomfort and still continue to be relaxed. So I've just found that it's extremely helpful and has really helped raise my confidence in my birthing time with the hypnobabies. I just feel like this is something that's going to be so helpful for me and just what I was looking for, like exactly what I was looking for. So that's been really exciting with week 32. At the beginning of this week, week 32, I did have my prenatal appointment, and we were able to go and ask our midwife all of the questions that we had, or at least all the questions that I had, in order to feel confident in finalizing our birth plan. And we had quite a few questions. We probably should have had them schedule us a little bit longer of an appointment, but whatever. We were able to get all of our questions answered, and for the most part, all the answers that she had for us made us feel pretty confident in being able to experience the type of birth that we want to. She measured my fundal height, and I have said in previous videos that he's been measuring a week ahead, and this time he was measuring right on at 32 weeks. However, she did confirm something for me that I've been thinking for quite a while, but never really knew if that was the case. But he is actually positioned most often with his back to my back. And I can't remember whether that's posterior or anterior. I believe it's posterior. I can't remember. Anyways, she did say that his head is down, which is great, but that he is technically positioned in what they would call a sunny side up position. Ideally, you would want his face to my back, so his back to my stomach. He is facing the opposite direction, and so she actually found it kind of hard to find his heartbeat. You could hear it, but it was so faint, and so she was talking about his positioning, and I was like, oh, I knew it. So here in the next couple of weeks, I'll be really trying to focus on getting him spun around by doing a little bit of positioning techniques and things like that, which actually Hypnobabies helps you out with, so that's wonderful. And so for those of you who may not know, a baby who is positioned in a posterior position, I believe is what it's called, or a sunny side up position, is when you tend to generally have more of the back labor pains during your birthing time. And so just the ideal position for a baby is to be with its back to your stomach or with its face to your back, head down, obviously. And so we're going to work on trying to get him repositioned so that I can have a more comfortable birthing time. My next appointment will be in 4 weeks. I'll be 36 weeks, and I believe after that appointment we will go to every week appointments. So that appointment is on December 19th, and the day before that we have our rescheduled appointment to meet with the pediatric director so that we can get it squared away with the vitamin K shot being refused, and whatnot. So we have those 2 appointments in December. The appointment for my prenatal in December is when she will actually do the Group B strep test. So here in about 2 weeks, I will start doing probiotics and garlic and whatnot to help with get rid of the bad bacteria in my guts or whatnot. So that was pretty much my prenatal appointment, with her being able to answer all of our questions as far as what we had about our birth and, you know, things like that. We were able to, this week I was able to work on our birthing plan, and my husband and I both agree on it, and we feel like it's, you know, finalized and something that we're ready to submit. So we have that, and I'll do a whole separate video about that. But that we will submit at my next prenatal appointment, December 19th, and have our midwife go over that and keep it in a file and things like that. So those are all the symptoms and exciting things that have happened in the past couple of weeks. I am going to insert my belly progression from week 6 to week 32, and then I will see you guys for another update. Bye. What else was I going to say? I don't know what I was trying to say. I totally lost my train of thought. So the nice thing about doing, let's see, I just can't like get my thoughts together for this very moment. Oh, I need to, wait a minute, rewind. What else? What else? Oh. So out of breath. I'm like,